this video from the same person that goes by the self-hating weeb, which is kind of ironic per se. I mean, it says, "What is an ironic weeb?" And I ain't gonna lie though, when I think of ironic weeb per se, I think of ones that just pretends to like animu shit per se. But I could be wrong though. All right, let's see.
So recently online, I've seen the increase of the use of a new term when people are talking about anime and its fans. That term is ironic weebs. Now, I've seen ironic weebs mainly referenced in starter pack memes and...
Oh, that's not surprising at all. Although I think I'm pretty sure from the looks of it, I think I've only known like half of it per se. Wow, that's we really going back to that specific era too, huh? Oh man, from like the Momiji thing, Filthy Frank, and all that. Man, we really going back to that sort of era, huh? Okay.
generally people complaining about how much they fucking hate them. Now, people have hated normal weebs.
The self-aware weeaboo starter pack. The whole like, well, to be fair, I've done some dumb, playing weeb game shit like this before too. So that's not surprising at all. Like, especially like I know like Hyperdimension Neptunia, the Fire Emblem stuff, and some of the PS Vita games that were get ported to Steam and whatnot. That yeah, that's something. I guess the little VLC icon would definitely mean, um, downloading anime engines using the VLC player.
For a long time. On the tier list of weird nerd fandoms, weebs are probably pretty far towards the bottom. Even political pundits have used people sitting in basements and jerking off to Japanese cartoons as an insult.
But the fact of the matter is most of them are childless single men who masturbate to anime. These are not people who matter in the overall course of humanity.
But this complaint
Oh shit, that didn't age well, did it? Oh man. What is wrong with old ass people, when it comes to them working at the news station?
about ironic weebs tends to be a little more nebulous and sort of hard to define. Now, you would think that this is just complaining about people being weebs ironically, people using weeb memes, people making weeb jokes, without actually being weebs themselves. And to an extent, that's sort of what it is, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. So let's try to explore what the fuck is
Ironic weeb pack. I feel like half of the stuff I can actually remember. As far as I know in the image, I don't really see any like Eurobeat memes in there because I listen to like Eurobeat music, but I not watched the initial D anime or MF Ghost and whatnot. But I do have. But seeing memes like that kind of showed that hey, I have over 300 Eurobeat tracks, saved up and onto a YouTube playlist. But I don't see like Eurobeat on there. But wow, I guess looking at this meme, it's just we really been going back to like 2010s era before 2020.
a little bit deeper than that. So let's try to explore what the fuck is an ironic weeb. To start on our journey, first we have to look at what are the three types of irony. So first there's verbal irony, which is saying one thing and meaning another.
The use of words expressing something other than their literal intention. Now that is irony.
A good example of this would be, oh, I
Sure.
can't wait to see her again. Or, wow, he seems like a real genius. Pretty basic, standard form of irony, and it's really not what we're working with here. The next would be dramatic irony. This is something you see in stage plays and TV shows a lot. It's anytime the audience knows something but a character doesn't. And the last kind of irony, and this is what we're going to be dealing with, is when the opposite of what you expect to happen happens.
Irony deals with opposites. It has nothing to do with coincidence. If two baseball players from the same hometown on different teams receive the same uniform number, it's not ironic. It's a coincidence. Irony is, quote, A state of affairs that is the reverse of what was to be expected. A result opposite to and in mockery of the appropriate result. Unquote. For instance, if a diabetic on his way to buy insulin is killed by a runaway truck, he is the victim of an accident. If the truck was delivering sugar, he is the victim of an oddly poetic coincidence. But if the truck was delivering insulin, then he is the victim of an irony.
Oh, I guess that's one way to make an example of irony.
So when you look at it through the lens of situational irony, ironic weebs would be people that are doing weeb things specifically because it is the last thing you would expect them to do. This is where pretty much any kind of ironic detachment comes from. If somebody's watching a movie ironically, they're doing it because you would never expect somebody to genuinely enjoy watching that movie. If somebody is wearing clothes ironically, they're wearing something that looks stupid and nobody would ever genuinely wear. In essence, enjoying something ironically is a critique of that thing. Of course, it's not always that simple. There's a lot of people, including myself, that love watching terrible movies, and I don't feel like I do it out of any sense of irony. When the guys at Red Letter Media do an episode of Best of the Worst, are they doing that only out of a sense of irony? I would argue no. I think there's a great deal of schadenfreude and other factors that go into it. Like Rich Evans' sexy, sexy body.
I think. Oh, great! Now you're just doing some copyright related shit. Great. Good.
I believe you can get me through the night.
And what about movies that are intentionally bad? Do we like those for the same reason? Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. The whole understanding of what makes things humorous and enjoyable is kind of fuzzy at best, and could be a topic for an entire video on its own.
Well, okay. Well, it's one of those moments where a movie is so bad it's good type of thing, huh?
I think the key thing to focus on, at least in this respect, is that sense of ironic detachment, that shield that one can throw up just as an excuse to avoid people critiquing the thing that they like. I mean, we've all heard that, oh, I know it's dumb, but I just watch it because it's so dumb. I just like watching it for how dumb it is. And that's a really terrible excuse, but that shield of that ironic detachment, of doing it ironically, kind of is pervasive in a lot of the way we enjoy media at this point. And when it really comes...
Well, you could say the same thing, like, that's like saying like, oh, I've only watched like Family Guy and South Park and all the other shit because it's dumb.
Down to it, I think that this ironic detachment is frustrating for two reasons. The first reason being what I mentioned before, that when you enjoy something ironically, you're effectively saying that it can't be enjoyed genuinely, and you're kind of shitting on everybody that actually enjoys that thing. But the other is that it just seems really disingenuous. When someone's enjoying something ironically, or claiming to enjoy something ironically, they sometimes seem like they're really just trying to hide the fact that they like something that
Hardcore weaves are pretty damn cringy, right? Well, I'm just being ironic, haha. Can't make fun of me now, even though my personality is way more insufferable because I can't take anything seriously anymore, else my jaded mask of irony will fall apart and show my immense vulnerability, haha. Holy shit. Is that you? Well, I don't know. You tell me. Like, I could. I mean, imagine buying like a fucking Rin Tosaka body pillow as the sake of irony, and I'm like sitting here. I'm like, man, you're really just buying body pillows for the sake of like, oh, you just want a body pillow in your house. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know the guy who made the video. Like, are you telling me that Type Moon fandom is enjoying this the sake of irony? Like, what's going on?
most people think is dumb. And I get it. I mean, it's really hard to just go out there and say that you enjoy something that's strange to enjoy. I mean, look what happens when people just openly admit to that kind of thing.
Cheerily and DJ Pone 3 for only $6.99, so that's about $7 plus tax. That adds up about $13. So I can get these two. Yay!
But to tie it back into
Oh, okay. Right. Because it's because it's funny because I mean, I've not played I've not read the Fate Stay Night, the Vision as a VN, but as far as I remember, it was like a eroge game that became a thing, and then thanks to the yeah, what you said. I don't have it downloaded, but I have like Witch of the Holy Night downloaded. So it's like, well, I could read it whenever I get the chance. Imagine if FGO never existed if until they'd be the biggest losers ever. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, doesn't help. Like it's the title itself that caused it that way. And I was like, see, I was the reason why I put this video on like the watch later thing of what is an ironic weeb, because when I think of ironic weeb in my personal definition, ironic weeb means a person who pretends to enjoy things or they're hardcore enough to where they're just pretending that, you know, they're enjoying it, just like, or like, what's the word, downplaying it. Yeah, like pre FGO type Moon fans were already looked at like losers. That feels bad, man. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
the idea of the ironic weeb, I think it really comes down to two kinds of people that this label gets applied to. The first being somebody who uses that shield of ironic detachment to try to hide from the fact that they
We're going we're going back to the fucking the Chinese cartoons shit, huh? A boss. The Shiro is pretty cringe, especially that line, people die when they are killed. You know, I've seen people repeat that line so many times, and I'm like, man, oh, it's the same shit with like, you know, like, you know, that berserkers can only berserk. I'm like, okay. People die when they are murdered. Fucking hell, man.
themselves are, by every definition, what somebody would generally consider a weeb. They don't want to be associated with the fandom, they don't want to be
People drown when they can't breathe on the water. How about people starve when they can't eat? Like, it's the same shit. Oh my god. What the hell is this? I don't remember this meme. It's Todd, the guy who hates anime. Fuck anime. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. And then has the guy where he decides to sneak into his room. I can't keep living this lie. Hmm. You know, you know what that similar meme reminds me of? Imagine, imagine that is that replace the hate anime thing, and you have like a human phobia or like a racial phobia or like a homophobia thing. So imagine having that, like cross out this and replace with like a phobia thing. Hating on anime is weird, but it's normal to be grossed out by it. Though. Yeah, no, it's like it's weird per se, but when it comes to anime, I mean, if anything, it's to each their own, right? Like, I mean, I haven't watched the anime in a while. I mean, the last time I watched the anime was called the show called Odd Taxi, and that's about it. And the last anime film was like Paprika. But so far I've not, it's not like I watch it constantly. But considering that Netflix increased the price on the monthly subscription, then I was like, okay, I gotta use my Netflix more considering I'm like under the family plan.
Labeled as such, and so they outwardly try to hide it or try to criticize and shit on Weebs specifically because they don't want to be one. And on that note, I do want to acknowledge that I understand that my channel name is kind of feeding into that a little bit.
Well, that is, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if your username comes off as hypocritical. I don't know what your username would normally call. I'll just call you self-hating person because I don't because self-hating weeb could be like referred to like anyone, but I feel like that's kind of ironic because I mean like look at your videos. Like I've seen you videos praising like 90s anime and like specific 90s anime like Cowboy Bebop and Gunsmith Girls, and that's fine. I feel like you're more of an individual that critiques, like like specific anime fandoms per se. And I'm nothing against that. Like normally I don't, react to like shit that because if anything, it's not really a big deal. But if it becomes concerning that is, and it's going to end up cursing up the timeline, like right now, then I can gladly say, hey, maybe I can actually, look into this. But if it's just like some video game fandom or fucking anime shit that I don't care for, then I'll be like, okay, I'll just blank out my mind and do something else then. You don't have to be invested in like on online shit this easily.
But I at least try to think of that particular use of it as more of a self-awareness and self-deprecation and less of a shitting on other people kind of a thing. And the other
Well, that's well, you just you just explained your point right there in there. You're a hypocrite. Also, when it comes self-deprecation, isn't that like a isn't that like a concerning mental health thing? Because self-deprecation doesn't seem to be right. Although, I guess there should be a pattern per se. I mean, I can't speak it for myself. I mean, I'm a bit of a dick. He knows how the name comes off as a hypocrite. Yeah, I know, right? It's. I mean, at least you're being honest. Like I'm not trying to like, you know, argue against that. I think it's pretty funny.
other category seems to be people that are pretty much in it for the memes. The conventional conception of this type of person seems to be that they like to post anime memes, they have some kind of cropped hentai as their Steam profile picture, and they engage in all the memery, but they don't actually watch anime, save for maybe one or two of the most popular shows in a season. They're constantly shit posting, they're constantly fucking up discussion about anime by people who are real fans just out of some kind of twisted contempt.
I mean, I have a profile pic of a Black Lagoon character, and I mean, does that mean does that mean I'm not an anime watcher? Like I've watched the show before. Like I think it was like several months ago. I guess watching over 100, shows that has like 12 or 26 episodes doesn't consider me as one. Oh god. That's that's something else.
For actual anime fans. And I can understand the rationale for viewing people in this way because it sort of allows you to separate yourself from that annoying shitposty kind of individual. And it is a lot of the time genuinely difficult to determine if they're actually being serious. And that's sort of compounded by the fact that these people tend to lean into the skid of anime cringiness. They tend to take those creepy, uncomfortable parts and drag it up to the top. So you've got a lot of jokes about hentai and tentacles and dakimakuras and ona holes and waifus and all of these things. And they're
Oh shit. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing with the when weebs aren't usually anime fans because it's like it's hard to tell whether it comes off as like you're just, you know, you're being like legit. So like Hassan thinks he's a weeb. He just loves Japan but doesn't engage with the anime stuff. And that's fine, you know. I mean, eventually, like if I have to like, you know, go travel like Japan and all, it's interesting because of like, oh, I found see like the one time like I'm interested in Japan because like and I always follow the YouTuber who goes by a broad in Japan and then I even have a Google Doc saved where I put down the list of like what not to do because there's like, you know, like human behavioral differences in like specific countries and whatnot. I try to I was gonna say cultural differences, but it's more like I jot down the list because there are like human behavioral differences in which you shouldn't do, you know. So, but yeah, what Hassan doing is it's fine, you know. Okay, although it is pretty interesting, where Hassan would cosplay the maid thing. I didn't even know. I was I wasn't surprised because I've seen like cosplay similar cosplay thing like that, but I didn't know he did that for like the maid cafe. And I even watched the I even watched the video. I was like, okay, that is pretty understandable. And I was like, hey man, I ain't judging.
there's that ironic detachment. Nobody could possibly ever take any of that seriously. Nobody could possibly ever genuinely be in love with an anime character and sit in front of their computer with a birthday cake on that character's birthday and stare at the screen and feel some kind of genuine affection for this 2D miracle of the universe and just really feel like 3D is a dead end and 2D is life. But here's the thing, those people do exist. So you better keep that shield of irony up, because otherwise, someone might think you're one of them. So here's where things start to get a little more murky, because the trouble with irony is that you can never really tell when someone's being ironic or when they're being genuine. That's where that lean into the skid mentality sort of comes from. You have to really, really go full absurdity, otherwise there's a danger that people might think you're serious. And with this post-pose law sort of internet that we're on, and with sarcasm and self-aware humor, it becomes very difficult to tell who's memeing who anymore.
I know the internet is sure is scary. I agree. Oh fucking hell! Did I just? Oh, I see the problem. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Are Umaru
Yeah.
shit posters actually shit posting ironically, or do they actually have shit taste? Do they actually like this horrible garbage and post Umaru on the front page because they want it there, and not just because they want to piss everyone off? Is it a mixture of both? Because in the end, ironic shitposting is still shitposting. The people that use the term ironic weeb are using it because they believe that these people can't actually like these garbage flavor of the month shows that they're constantly memeing and posting to shit up actual discussion about anime that are worth giving a damn about. That
I mean, I do enjoy Konosuba. I haven't watched the third season yet. It's on my it's on the watch later list. It's just I haven't really gotten. I haven't really it's one of those things where it's like I only watch it if I get the chance.
that instead of enjoying it like some kind of a dumpster fire, they're actively, ironically enjoying.
Well, fuck. He definitely got me on that one. He definitely got me on the part where I've actually watched Cross Angie for the sake of it's so bad it's good type of thing, huh? Fuck. He got me canceled. It's over.
Enjoying it just to annoy other people. But what about things that are less obviously horrendous? Something like SAO or Attack on Titan. Yeah, they're bad, but there are plenty of people that unironically enjoy them. So why is it that someone who enjoys a shit show like Umaru gets called an ironic weeb, whereas somebody who watches something like Attack on Titan gets called a casual? In both cases, it's just somebody having shit taste.
If you like these shows, then you're on Ironic Weave. And there is like there's Inferno Cop on there. And Inferno Cop is a very shit. It's very like lo- it is made by Studio Trigger after all, but it's so memey as hell. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And wanting to post about a show that you don't like. Well, clearly that comes from the perception of the show, at least to some degree. Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online, Naruto, Bleach, these are seen as being very big and popular shows, so of course they're considered to be something entry level, something that, of course, normies would enjoy. But something like Umaru, or something like Eromanga Sensei, or Oraimo, these contain the kind of themes and the kind of stories that are not quite as widely popular or socially acceptable.
Well, thanks, a video guy, for making a Monka TOS. Also, Orimo sucks. What the?
So of course, only really weeby kind of individuals would enjoy them. But they're garbage, right? So nobody could really enjoy them. So it's obviously shit posters just memeing about it and being ironic. And here we see again, being ironic means it can't be enjoyed genuinely. In this way, calling someone an ironic weeb is a way to delegitimize them. If there's someone that shits on anime, well, clearly they secretly like anime, so their opinion is invalid. And if there's someone that likes what you don't like, well, clearly they're doing it ironically because they couldn't genuinely enjoy it and they're just trying to piss people off. In both
Wait, oh, hang on. This is actually interesting. So let me go back.
so their opinion is invalid. And if there's someone that likes what you don't like, well, clearly they're doing it ironically because they couldn't genuinely
If someone likes things that I don't like,
enjoy it and they're just trying to piss people off. In both cases, the person's enjoyment of something is being questioned and being attacked.
I don't know, man. I guess to each their own. I don't know. I don't know human behavior of when. I mean, I do know, like, um, fuck. It's that. See, that part is interesting right there because of the whole like, I like things that they don't like, or what if my friend don't like, you know? And but that can apply to not. Oh God, I'm being a little tired. But that can be applied to anything, right? So, if anything, you know. But the thing is, like, if someone likes a game that even though like I don't have an interest in, then it's like I don't know, man. Are they doing that just to like offend me? I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think it really tends to hit me this way. but I don't know. I've not delved enough in my self awareness to understand yet, and quote unquote yet.
And their validity as a fan of anime is brought into question. So essentially, calling someone an ironic weeb is basically the modern equivalent of telling them to go back to Gaia. Ah, and therein lies the rub. In the end, when you call someone an ironic weeb, all you're really doing is calling them a casual. An insult as old as time. And this is something I'd really like to explore. I want to delve into why we feel the need to exclude individuals from certain fandoms, whether it be the anime fandom or any fandom. Why we want to force out casuals or not take them seriously. So in the next episode, I'm going to take a look at casuals, posers, and the necessity of gatekeeping. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, cool. I mean, I already watched your video about gatekeeping, so uh, what a one hell of a nostalgia trip this was. I mean, I guess I did watch like 6 to 7 shows, and that meme already called me out on that, huh? Oh well, it is what it is.